You do not need to be positive all the time, and it is completely normal to feel sad, angry, and hurt sometimes. Hey guys, I'm Kim, and welcome back to the Higher Vibes Tribe community, where we talk about everything law of attraction, mindset, and becoming your highest self. Today, we're going to be talking about a hot topic, toxic positivity, why it's a harmful mindset to adopt, and why it's okay to feel sad sometimes. So what is toxic positivity? Toxic positivity is the belief or mindset that you need to be happy and positive all the time, no matter what. It's when you tell yourself that feelings of sadness, anger, frustration, or hurt have no place in your life. It's essentially feeling that no matter what else is going on in your life, you need to be happy and positive all the time, and you are not allowed to feel sad or hurt without feeling guilty. Toxic positivity is also classifying feelings of sadness, anger, hurt, frustration as negative. And I just want to emphasize the point that these feelings are not negative. They're just feelings, but toxic positivity paints this picture that these emotions are things that we never want to feel and never want to have in our life. This just simply isn't accurate though. These feelings aren't inherently negative. They're just indicators of what is going on in our lives currently. And toxic positivity has become really popular lately, but it's honestly so damaging to hold yourself to this pretty much impossible standard. We shouldn't feel guilty about having emotions, any kind of emotion. If you've ever been sad or upset about something and someone told you, but why don't you just try being positive about it? Or why don't you just ignore it? That is toxic positivity. And guys, if you're enjoying this content right now, I would really appreciate it if you could take a minute to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. It would really help me grow and get this message out to as many people as possible. So why is toxic positivity harmful? Toxic positivity is harmful because it's simply not realistic. One cannot expect themselves to be positive all of the time. It's completely normal to feel all different types of emotions, both happiness and sadness. Emotions are our inner guidance system, and we have them for a reason. Emotions tell us how we feel about something that's currently happening. When we get a promotion at work, we feel so happy and excited, and rightly so, because something so amazing just happened. But when things go downhill, like we lose someone we care about, or we lose a job, or we simply have a bad day, we feel down because that's just how we feel about the situation. And isn't that completely normal? How can we expect ourselves to feel differently about a situation like that? And this isn't simply about perspective. It isn't about saying, oh, they're in a better place now, or maybe that relationship wasn't right for you, or maybe a better job is on the way for you. And while those things can be true, it doesn't mean that we need to or that we should downplay our sadness about it. We can get to that place eventually, but we don't have to get to it right away. We are meant to feel these emotions. We can't get to a place of true positivity when we downplay what we feel in the current moment. Toxic positivity is short-term, and it honestly isn't real. Have you ever felt down about something and then you just tried to push those emotions away, but then they came back even stronger than ever? And when we push away our sadness or other emotions, they tend to pop up in other areas of our life, and we don't even make the connection that this is why this area of our life is now suffering. For example, if you keep pushing down feelings of sadness, you might now not be able to concentrate, or your job might suffer, or you might stop reaching out to friends, and then you feel isolated. And then it's just kind of this downward spiral when we choose not to feel what we are in the current moment. And what happens when we ignore these feelings and we let them pile up and we just never ever deal with them? Eventually, it's going to all come tumbling down one day, and we never want to get to that place if it can be avoided. That's why it's so important to deal with these emotions as they come. You know, I always come back to this quote, the only way out is through. It's great to be positive, and that is where we want to live most of our life. But we want to be truly positive, not fake positive, pretending that something isn't bothering us when it actually is. And I know I talk about being positive a lot, but I want to emphasize the point that I want you guys to be truly positive. I would never want you guys to think that I want you to ignore how you feel in the current moment, because that is definitely not the case. I want you guys to be genuinely happy, and sometimes that does mean feeling down sometimes. So how do we actually process these emotions? The key to being truly positive and getting to a place where we feel genuinely happy is just letting ourselves feel however we feel in the current moment. If something shitty happened in your life, it's okay and normal to feel sad and down about it. Don't push yourself to feel any other way, and don't judge yourself for however you feel. Just sit with those emotions and feel them. Sometimes I think that we fear feeling those emotions so much, but what if the fear of feeling those emotions is actually worse than feeling them themselves? And a lot of the time, I think that does turn out to be the case. No feeling lasts forever, so just remember that. And honestly, it's okay to want to feel down for a little bit if something bad happened in your life. It's okay to go through the process of just acknowledging that shitty thing that happened and just let yourself be down for a little bit. Don't run from those emotions, run to them instead. Okay, honestly though, haven't you ever just given yourself a day just to wallow in that sadness? Just lay in bed and watch Netflix and just be sad for a little while, and then you wake up the next day and you feel so much better. And this is because you actually acknowledge that you need to slow down, take a step back, and just deal with whatever happened in your life. We're not robots. We have emotions, we have feelings, and we need to let them guide us in life. Sadness is our body and our soul's way of telling us that we need to slow down and deal with something instead of trying to push on like nothing ever happened. And I also want to emphasize that you can be successful and you can use the law of attraction while still acknowledging these emotions of sadness. And I even feel like the most happy and successful people know that it's okay to be down sometimes, and they let themselves feel that way. Being successful and using the law of attraction is all about truly feeling good, and we can't do that when we're pretending that we do when we actually don't. The universe always knows. Vibes don't lie. You might be able to fool others by putting on this facade that everything's okay when it really isn't, but your vibration that you're putting out to the universe is going to be one that reflects how you truly feel on the inside. And the longer that you put off feeling those emotions and feeling sad, the longer that you're going to be out of alignment. So it is really all about working through these emotions. And I actually have a video that talks all about mental health and how to deal with those emotions, so I will link that down below for you guys because I think it would be really helpful for anyone going through this right now. And there are a ton of benefits to working through these emotions. Working through these emotions helps us grow as people. We are sent these lessons and experiences to help us grow. Think back to a hard time in your life. I'm sure you can look back and reflect now and see how much stronger and more mature and more resilient you came out on the other side. And honestly, I think it's almost a sign of immaturity and weakness to never let yourself feel any other emotion but happiness. Don't come for me for saying this, but it's just like you're scared to let yourself feel any other emotion. Allow yourself the freedom to grow by feeling it all. And I believe that giving yourself permission to feel sad and down sometimes is really a sign of self-confidence. And it's also a form of self-care. You're telling yourself, it's okay to feel down sometimes. I know I'm not going to feel like this forever, but if this is how I feel now, I'm not going to judge myself for it. I'm just going to let myself be however I want to be in this current moment. And you're not holding yourself to these impossible standards that society tries to place on us. And inevitably, when more difficult times come, they won't seem as difficult. You'll be able to look back on all these times where you really just let yourself go through whatever you're going through and feel whatever you were feeling, and you're gonna look back and say, maybe it wasn't even all that bad. Maybe I just hyped it up in my head. Now, I know this can all be so much easier said than done, especially if you have people in your life that are telling you to be positive all the time, or make you feel bad about feeling down sometimes. I think the first thing you need to know is that how you feel isn't anyone else's business but your own. We're all on our own personal journeys, and no one else is entitled to tell you how you should or shouldn't feel. They could for sure be coming from a place of concern because hopefully the people in your life don't want to see you down. But you could try explaining to them, you know, I'm just going through something right now and I just need to be sad for a little bit. These feelings won't last forever, but it's just something I need to process right now to acknowledge what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And if after that they still don't understand, then maybe you need to take a step back from this person. I know depending on who they are, that might not always be possible, but it's all about reassuring yourself that the way you feel is a-okay. They don't have to understand it. Just make sure their opinion on how they think you should feel doesn't affect how you actually feel. And then they might tell you, oh, but you have a great life. You have so much to be grateful for. And yeah, that might be true, but that still doesn't mean you aren't allowed to feel down sometimes. Being sad about a current event in your life does not mean that you don't appreciate all the other things that you do have. All it means is that there's something happening right now that needs your attention. Don't let feeling down make you feel guilty that you aren't appreciating all of the things that you do have. Just because you have it better than others doesn't mean you aren't allowed to feel these emotions sometimes. And you can also begin to build a support system for yourself by treating others the way that you would want to be treated. The next time someone comes to you and they're feeling down, let them know that it's okay that they feel however they feel and that you're there for them. Sometimes we're so quick just to offer a solution and say, oh, don't worry, you have so much to be happy for. Oh, you won't be sad for long. But in reality, maybe the person just needs to hear, it's okay for you to be sad. I'm here for you. Feel however you want to feel, and you can rely on me as long as you need me here. We all need to do our part in getting rid of this toxic positivity narrative that has become so widespread lately. Let's stop shaming people for feeling natural human emotions. Of course, if you have been feeling down for an extended period of time and it's interfering with your life, consider seeking professional help because maybe you do need a counselor to help you navigate these emotions. But just know there is nothing inherently bad about feeling sad or down sometimes. There is nothing wrong with you. Feelings are just an indication that there is something there that we need to work through, not just simply put a band-aid on. So the main takeaway I want you guys to have today is to know that it's okay to feel down sometimes. Emotions are our inner guidance system that simply constantly tell us that we need to work through something in order to grow. Nothing is inherently bad about this, and nothing is wrong with you for feeling this way. Give yourself permission to feel whatever you want to feel. Guys, if you found this video at all helpful, please like and subscribe, and as always, until next time, sending good vibes your way.